I think I should start off by mentioning that I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this particular subject as A, I'm a mechatronics engineer, and B, IoT is one of my interest areas. It has been making an appearance in media recently, so I will be going over what it can and can't do, and I will evaluate the threat level of, say, a smart toaster. In case you're planning to write a mystery around a murderous smart toaster, because why not? First of all, can you hack into IoT devices? Well, yeah, especially given a lot of people won't bother to change the default password of their router, let alone a toaster. So don't lock yourself out of your own router and then blame me because I told you to change the password. It's entirely up to you. But yes, people can hack into IoT devices. There are a lot of factors that go into it, but it is possible. So, if you're going to talk about threats in particular, one common issue would be the type of connectivity, though this is mostly on manufacturers. For example, a toaster wouldn't need to do much more than turn on and off, so you won't need a particularly high bandwidth connection. And also, some types of connections are relatively more vulnerable to man in the middle attacks, i.e., someone listening into your conversation as it's being transmitted and pretending to be the person it's transmitted to so that they can essentially command your device. But of course, a layer of protection against this would be encrypted transmission, but then again, that's on the manufacturer. Overall, the likelihood of your device actually being hacked is pretty low. As in, part of the responsibility lies with the manufacturer, part of the responsibility lies with you, but overall, the possibility is relatively low. So, let's say someone managed to hack into your toaster. Can they make it explode? Well, that actually depends on what your toaster is capable of. If your toaster, say, has a built in self destruct switch for some reason, in that case, a hacker might be able to activate it, but most toasters don't have self destruct switches. What you need to realize is you can't plant an explosive in your device through an internet connection. So, no, your toaster probably won't explode. What someone could possibly do is turn it on and leave it on. That too wouldn't do anything if it's not plugged in, as in the device may not even connect in that case, or if it does, it won't do anything. But if it is plugged in and for some reason a piece of paper floats up to it and lands on a hot surface, catches fire, and lands on something else and sets it on fire, and so on, you could, in the absolute worst case, in like a 1 in a million chance, perhaps you could have a kitchen fire, but the toast itself would not explode. The same applies to, say, your smart TV. No, it's not going to explode, but someone who hacked in could potentially turn the TV on or off, change channels, and possibly even broadcast a message that they want to broadcast to you. Though it'll make a lot more sense to get into a TV station rather than your TV if you want to do that. The end result would be making it impossible to watch that TV. Or another thing you could do is turn it on in the middle of the night and make a lot of noise with it so that it keeps everyone awake. Or you could make the house look haunted by turning it on and off randomly, possibly in the night. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you can make a device do what it is capable of doing in the first place. Sure, you could potentially push things to the maximum, but devices tend to have maximum setting under the assumption that people will use it. And even if people aren't supposed to use it for long periods of time, it'll just mean that the device will burn up. And if the limitations are software based, sure, a hacker may potentially be able to get rid of the software limitations. That's unlikely, not entirely impossible, but very unlikely because you'd have to change the device software, and not all devices are designed to do that or to allow it. But my guess is chances are it will be near impossible to make the device actually self destruct, unless it's a stove or something. But then, why on earth would anyone connect a stove to the internet? And anyway, even if you connect the stove to the internet, it'll be an open flame. That'll be the worst of it, not a gas leak, most likely. So, what are the real dangers of a compromised device? In case you don't want to write a fantastical device explosion. I think we went to that a bit in the previous section, but let's talk about it in a little more detail. As we discussed, it is possible to start a kitchen fire with a sufficiently stupidly designed smart toaster or stove someone decided to connect to the internet for some reason. I mean, I don't see why you'd go into the trouble of connecting it to the internet without, hardwiring some sort of safety mechanism into it, but whatever. So, worst case with something like the toaster, it could affect your electricity bill. But the real danger here, realistically speaking, is the information someone could get from it. You see, you might get in the habit of starting the toaster when you're 5 minutes from your house, when you're coming home from work. Well, someone could use that information to figure out where you were at a given time, as in, like, will you be coming home in the next 5 minutes? With the TV, they could get information on your viewing habits and also when you're in the house. If the device in question is an AC, someone could know when you're going to enter your house, as in, are you planning to return soon? Or if you're sleeping, because you may develop a habit of lowering the temperature before going to sleep. With the security system, someone could monitor your entire house and learn everything there is to know about it, including where you're in the house at any given time. With the health monitoring wearable, someone can learn a lot of medical information about you. With the car GPS, it could be where you are at any given time. So that information can be used to maybe plan a robbery, to impersonate you, and so on. No, before you panic and throw out all the devices in your house, most device manufacturers are aware of the dangers and they do their best to make sure that none of this happens. After all, if something happens and it's the manufacturer's fault, a manufacturer can be in a lot of trouble. What you can do to prevent it happening is to make sure that you change your passwords and possibly screen lock your phone if that's what you use to control the device. You don't have to be overly scared of it. Just know what they're capable of and use them wisely. And anyway, your phone knows more about you than a toaster ever will. So if you're watching this on a phone or a laptop, yeah, you don't have to worry about the toaster too much. So in short, your toaster won't explode randomly and it probably won't kill you in your sleep. And the chances of it starting a kitchen fire are slim to none. However, it can spy on you if you let it. So that's the cheerful conclusion to this video. I hope it inspires you to write your next mystery or detective novel. And please let me know what you think of this video in the comments. See you next time.